Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I want to specifically talk about why you should abandon playing tabletop role-playing games other than Dungeons and Dragons. So I have talked about this previously, and I'm going to do the very best I can to make none of my points that I've made previously in this one and make completely new points. And I'm aware people detest this. People do not want to hear this. People are like, let everybody play what they want, right? And I'm going to say, so let's get into this. That's wrong, and here's why. Okay, so we just got Lego Dungeons and Dragons Red Dragon's Tale set 21348. It's an incredibly it's an achievement. It is an achievement within tabletop role-playing games that is peerless. Like nothing that has been achieved in tabletop role-playing game since February 7th, 1974, first day of Dungeons and Dragons. Nothing else has garnered this much power for a single tabletop role-playing game. And what really astounded me is I love the D&D community. I'm like, and the reason why is it's intense. It's like me. It's intense and it's adamant. We literally had edition wars. We fought over editions virtually, like with words, right? There was no bloodshed, but we fought for a long time, right? Now, fortunately, the edition wars are over. We're in one D&D now. There will never be another edition. No good tabletop role-playing game will ever publish another edition, right? Editions are dead, right? So, but it's very important to understand, like, here's why you should abandon OSC, Index Card RPG, Vaesen. There's just so many. Shadowrun, right? Like Call of Cthulhu, FFG Star Wars, all of these, right? It is not worth your time to run any of these games, and you should immediately end your campaigns. Don't end your campaigns quickly. Give a story ending to your campaigns. Don't abandon the players who have done a good job and stayed with you during the campaign, but as quickly as you can end these campaigns, and here's why. So basically, Dungeons and Dragons is accomplishing things that no other tabletop role-playing game has ever accomplished in 5 decades. Okay, so what has it accomplished? The Lego crossover is massive. We are the D&D community. We're intense and adamant. We are nothing compared to the Lego community. The Lego community is broader, more diverse, and more mature, and is able to handle complexity at a higher rate than the Dungeons and Dragons community. It pains me to say that, but I've been looking intensely at the Lego community for over a year and a half, and since the Lego D&D crossover was announced, and it is astounding. Like, I can't believe how much farther ahead the Lego community is to us. They have programs like Master Builder. They have programs like Lego Master. They have programs like Lego Ambassador. They have programs we don't have. They're just flat out way ahead of us, right? If you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you are helping, right? You're helping tabletop role-playing games do things that no other game can do, right? And what are those things? Blockbusters. Literally multi-billion-dollar blockbuster franchises, right? Dungeons and Dragons has connected itself to multiple multi-billion-dollar studios. Paramount Plus, Amazon, both have D&D projects in the works, right? And shows and movies. In 5 decades, no other tabletop role-playing game has even remotely approached this, right? The Lego crossover, right? The intellectual the intellectual property crossovers is through the roof on Dungeons and Dragons, right? And in addition to, and so you're like, well, okay, I see where you're going there. Yes, it has license deals that nobody else got, and it has Hollywood connections that nobody else got. But why should I abandon my tabletop role-playing games to play Dungeons & Dragons? And the reason why is Dungeons & Dragons is the only tabletop role-playing in the world that has actually established its name with muggles, right? People outside our industry genuinely know Dungeons & Dragons. No other table... Pathfinder, what's Pathfinder? It's an SUV, right? It's nothing, right? Like, it's nothing. It has not accomplished anything. It hasn't... Its name doesn't even have any recognition, right? All these other games, right? Even Shadow Dark, right? Like, it doesn't have license crossovers. It has no Hollywood connections, right? It doesn't have... It's not strong enough to build brands on top of brands on brands on brands, right? To partner with brands, right? And so why do we need this, right? Well, I've been watching Jenny Nicholson's 4-hour breakdown of the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser, which people call the Star Wars Hotel, and that was an exercise in immersion, right? And what's interesting is they accomplished something tremendous with that. The Star Wars Galactic Cruiser accomplished an immersive experience, the likes of which have never been equaled anywhere, not even remotely, right? What they did there was never done before, and will never, almost certainly never be done again, right? Like, it was incredible, right? But it also stands as a marker of what we can accomplish, right? We could have someday a Mount Hope now, right? You know, like literally a mountain where you arrive at base camp, arrive in character, right? And have actors and infrastructure and terrain and all these things that would allow immersion, right? And there's all these additional accomplishments, right? There are additional accomplishments that are happening that really need to be taken very, very seriously, that Dungeons & Dragons has a possibility of doing, right? And that's my point. It's almost limitless what we can accomplish with Dungeons & Dragons, right? And like, what is the bar for what we accomplish? Lego is literally doing social experiments with human beings with Lego. Like, they're engaged in genuine cultural, societal science, right? Like, there is no limit, right, to what they think can be accomplished with Lego. And Dungeons & Dragons is now clicked to that. We're part of that legacy, right? And it is truly astounding what types of things we're capable of accomplishing. But if you continue playing your tabletop role-playing game, you're splitting the community. You're taking time, attention, and money away from the only tabletop in the role-playing game in the world that has actually put accomplishment on top of accomplishment on top of accomplishment. The rest of the industry combined has not even accomplished a fraction of what Dungeons & Dragons has actually done. If you love tabletop role-playing games, okay, you can play other tabletop role-playing games when all of them have farm leagued their stuff into D&D, right? But the reality is, we have so much to accomplish that you playing any other tabletop role-playing game at this point is a waste of cultural and societal momentum, right? You harm humanity by playing games other than D&D. And the reason why is D&D has not even come close to accomplishing everything it can. Every other tabletop role-playing game combined, right, has not even done the first things that Dungeons & Dragons has done. Dungeons & Dragons just probably got the biggest intellectual property crossover ever possible. Lego, I don't think it's possible to get a little bit. Lego has 30 major themes, right? There are sub-themes under each one of those, right? I think they could be collected. I think D&D connected about 300 or 400 IPs when it connected to Lego. It is astounding, right? Like, it's, and then when you look at other tabletop, they haven't even done the minimum. They haven't even done 6 levels down, right? Whatever tabletop role-playing game has a movie? that ever went on, that ever had a release, right? Dungeons and Dragons just had its second before the entire industry could even have its first, right? The point is, the entire OSR and indie industry have done maybe 1% of what Dungeons and Dragons has accomplished, right? And the thing is, Dungeons and Dragons has a lot more to accomplish. And this is the part, like Lego, right? This is not a joke. You can go on Lego's site and they'll show, hey, here's a human social experiment, and that talks about confidence and talks about people interacting with people and gives a new path for how humans should interact, right? And Lego's like, you don't have to care about Lego for Lego to deeply, profoundly improve your life, right? And D&D is in the same boat. And when you play Call of Cthulhu, when you play Pathfinder, when you play OSE, you are harming your table and you are harming humanity, because you are keeping us from moving forward into powerful, true accomplishments that impact individuals, impact the culture, and impact society, right? And you're doing it to cut another, Dagon in half, right? Nothing's happening at those tables, right? But there are profoundly important things that are continued to happen on D&D. And it's not just the cultural changes, but literally jobs, right? Like Converse is making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe low millions of D&D shoes right now. OSC is never going to do that. Shadow Dark is never going to do that. Shadowrun is not going to do that. These things do not produce jobs, and they do not produce powerful cultural and societal improvement for people far beyond Dungeons and Dragons, right? Lego has it right. Lego is helping humans who do not even know about Lego, right? They're like, yes, of course, societal, social experiments are done with Lego, and that the ramifications of that go far beyond the Lego community, right? And Dungeons and Dragons needs to be there, and they need you. They desperately need you. We have far more to do and accomplish in the TTRPG space. And D&D is doing it. They're doing it with a small team, and they're outperforming literally thousands of competitors, right? The entire OSR and Indy is, industries combined have done nothing like to compare. They've done a shameful job. What they've done is shameful, and they should be ashamed. And at this point, they should be swept aside, right? And it's very important that you transition your games to something that can help humanity, not just, oh, let's cut another Dagon in half, and let's talk about goblinized elves and it's these things aren't going anywhere. Dungeons and Dragons is going real places with real impact, with real ramifications, with real value, with real power, right? And it's big, right? Joe Manganiello very recently is like, I'm having elevated conversations with people who have changed their lives and the society and the culture they live in with Dungeons and Dragons. Powerful speech, because there is power on D&D, and there is not a shred of power within the entirety of the OSR and Indy, all balled together. They haven't even done a fraction of what D&D. We've got a lot to accomplish. Get back to where things can be accomplished, which is on D&D, and surrender these quite useless games that do nothing but just bring a moment of fun to your table. We spent 50 years pursuing fun. Let's accomplish with the next 50. Every single word you just heard is nothing more than my humble opinion. What's important is when I hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.